Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm going to grab my coffee and then we'll be good to go here. Get some tunes. Custom biotech, huh? Oof. Can we bond? Yay, we're bonding. All right. Let's get to it here. Make sure we have the right mic. I didn't pick up the wrong mic again. Nope, we're good. Groovy. A couple things that I think are, let me turn this 1 second here. Wait 1 second. I know this thing's going to be because I got an alarm set on it, and I don't feel like listening to that. All right, so I'm just going to start here because I think that this is really interesting. That's interesting. Hold on 1 second. That news just hit. I wonder what Google's doing on it. How is Google not moving on that news? I would think Google would have moved on that. Interesting. All right. I guess not. Let's do the ES and get to it. We have a lot of news today, like a lot. A lot's going on out there. So we'll cover as much of it as we possibly can. Now, let me move this over here so it's easier for me. Let's do it right there. Right, perfect. Well, let's go. Let's get to it. Okay. All right. You really seem to be climbing this wall of worry and not really overly concerned about it, like at all. So it's definitely of interest here. So we take a look here. See that? Like, we're not really breaking down. You're not really around either. I do find it interesting that you can't just completely, utterly, flush down to this level and get it over with. That's your true gap fill, but you don't really seem to be able to do that. So that really leaves us in kind of a pickle. If you go back to Friday last Sunday, it's still that same area that is now support. It's starting to become resistance. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that. You're getting a lot of very positive news today, to say the least. You're getting a lot of very positive news. So, but this is really how, I see that. And if I was to look at the simple things, maybe I'll drop like a VWAP from there and you kind of stopping in that area again, but it's not, you're really chopping that held area up. I don't see a lot of value in that, frankly. Sometimes VWAPs have value, sometimes they don't. I don't think they're the deal by far, but you seem to be kind of muted, even though you're lifting, right? So I don't know that you want to put a ton into this. That's really where my head is with it. Background music still on, huh? All right. Well, it only took, is it off now? Background music's off. All right. So let's start over. Yep, I got it. Background music's off now, right? Is it off now? Boomer turned it off. All right. Groovy. All right. I guess I have to put this on. It seems like the simplest things for people to check. So if we take a look at this area, for me, it's pretty important, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm alone in thinking that, like that high from, that Sunday night. I always watch this stuff and how it's acting, and it was support, and now it's not becoming support anymore. So I think we're losing those people. And I think that that's definitely something that is, important. To me, it's very important. So I can't believe I left that freaking music on again. God, I'm going to get my balls busted all day in that room now. Excuse my language, ladies. So let's clean this off and start over. Similar, but not really, right? Because if you go back to the 24th here, you held. So, I got to deal with the slurping today. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you're really better off just watching how this all settles out instead of getting really, really goofy. But they're the big areas that I see that you could run into. And I want to go take a look at this today. Yeah. So you had this head and shoulders. You came to the neckline. You held like a mofo. So, and I don't think you're going to break, but you might, but I don't think so. Seems to me you're forming a DTL more than anything, doesn't it? All right, let's get back to it. See if any of these levels moved for us. Market still looks cheap. That's still there. That's still your call wall. And your put wall's still down there. So, I mean, that's really what you got. So let me just see one thing. See if any of this has changed. No, this is no longer of relevance. We can put that down here. And we can clone you. Yay. And put this up here. But I don't have a lot changing here, man. I don't see it. You got a lot of room to get whacked around. I'll say that. You got a lot of room to get whacked around. I got to throw this up and I got to watch this. So this is the thing about biotech that, and again, I'm not a biotech expert, but man, 1 minute FDA is telling you everything's going to be fine. The next minute, the FDA is saying, you might have a problem here, buddy. That is just such a vicious game. Let's go back to this one. And if you watch Saturday's video, I apologize. I have to find someone else to help me with those videos. And the editing and everything, and find better software. I use Camtasia to record those, and it's been freezing on me. And I don't know why. I mean, I check it like 1,000 freaking times and it still does it. So it is what it is, but I know no one wants to hear that after watching that on Saturday. But it is what it is. Let's keep going here. I just make so much money off buying these broken ones when I understand them. That's why I'm obsessed with it. So we bought spray at $2.50. Oh, some of you got, if you're on the wait list, some of you got a pre-invite last night. So just if you got that, you're going to get an email Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time for your invite. And then that'll be open for 5 days and then it'll close. And that may actually be it for the rest of the year. So, and then prices will double because the community is going to change, but only for people that went your grandfathered in. I have to start limiting it just because I want it to stay small. for a whole litany of reasons. I mean, we did so well when this broke over news like this. So like that always gets me wondering this kind of stuff, you know? What do you got for me? What do you got? Oh, maybe I got to look at this now. What do you got for me? And the other question that we could be thinking about too is like, when do these metals all get washed out? Right? We're just going to have world peace now. That's it. Everyone's going to have world peace. Like, does anyone really believe that? I love all the experts, all the body language experts that we're talking about, like Z not looking at them and Trump looking, like, it's just so funny. Everyone's all of a sudden an expert on body language. What else do we really want to go over here that's pertinent? Let's go back to the cues before the ADD kicks in again. Yeah, you're not really breaking that. You're still there, man. You're still like, that's what's so crazy about this market. Like you have a way to go. Like if you came in, man, you're going to come in hard. So there's nothing here, like nothing there at all. And that's where your put wall still is. So, you know, you don't want to break 630. You don't want to break 625 because that can get super ugly. I don't know what's going to get you to break now, though. It's kind of where my head is. All this stuff's going to go so much damn higher. So much higher. They're not going to give us a chance anymore to buy any of it. That was it. Thank you, British guy. You guys want to start looking at those. You guys are going to want to start looking at those banks again. Definitely want to start looking at these banks again. Argentina is going to be on fire, and people are going to be looking for places to put other capital. That should be everything, right? That should be everything. I want to take questions today. Take a lot of questions. Yes, I know I'm killing you with the music. ARM, I think you got to be super careful. I think the PE is like 1 billion. It needs to be good, and then it needs to talk about how great things are going to be. It's a crapshoot, man. You never know what you're going to get. You just don't know. You know, sometimes it could be great, and you're going to go higher. Other times it's going to be a disaster, and you're going to go like you just don't know what you're going to get. So I really think that that's definitely something to consider. Music's off now, right? So let me turn this down. I definitely think it's something to consider. Go for it, but you know, it's not for the faint of heart, dude. It's not my kind of trade. Cisco makes a lot of sense. All the connectivity, all the gear, it just makes so much sense. So it's just going to keep grinding. Like some of these names they're just not going to stop. You know, and they'll stop when these guys stop spending, and they're nowhere near done spending. So I would just be careful of the names that you're buying, but they're definitely not done. They are definitely 100% not done. So I think that's really important to get. That's definitely not done. Let's just go back and take a look at this for a minute. Yeah, I definitely don't think that's done, dude. By a long shot. They were easy. What else you got? Yeah, please hit the like button, or I'm going to keep playing that music. I own ARK. I always laugh when people always like, oh my God, she has no idea what she's doing. I'm like, okay, maybe read her charter. She's absolutely slaughtering it and pretty much slaughtering everybody out there. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. You always look at it technically, but she rotates the names that she's in. So, to me, I would expect this thing within a year to be back to all-time highs and people to be kicking themselves that they didn't buy it. But I think you have to just have the patience to deal with it. But it's such an easy trade, I mean, it's just such an easy trade to just scale into. I scale into this thing just all the time, just drop money into it. It's just so easy. She's following all the trends. So this one, the other one that I think super interesting is the ARC G. And I keep watching this peak to see if it's going to get there, but I think you have a shot at that. There's also ARC W, which is the next gen stuff. And, it's always so funny. Everyone's got an opinion down here. No one says crap now, right? So, and that will break it out. And I don't think you've even begun, frankly, on that stuff, on the new stuff that's out there. I don't think you've even begun. I don't think that you're even close to being done. Not even close. So ALAB is coming up with earnings. My concern with ALAB is the following, that AVGO's got a competing product and you don't screw around with AVGO, and AVGO's product's better. So do people start going to that one or not, And I don't have an answer to that. I don't. Yeah, I'd be super careful there. Super careful. I just would. The thing about Bitcoin is you went through a kind of and if you kind of look at it here, you kind of see it, right? So you have this, what I'll look at here. Let's get rid of this. Like this blue area in here. And you had all these people that realized they could go out there and buy like sham companies and then borrow and issue secondaries and shove crypto into it and then call themselves a treasury. So all these people went out and did it. And then the government finally came out and said, I don't know, man, maybe you can't do unlimited shares. Maybe you should have to have a shareholder vote. And so now all these companies stopped buying Bitcoin. They stopped buying Ethereum, right? Because they couldn't. They're not they had to change the way they are. That's why these look the way that they do. So I actually think that the trade's a pair trade. I actually think the trade is to find the names that are trading over the NAV and then go long Bitcoin and short those. Like I would just argue that anybody that goes out there, like this is like the easiest one in the world. And people always like, well, you don't understand. I'm like, oh no, I do understand. I've been around a long time. But like when you watch, Bitcoin versus BMNR, and we'll go back and look at this on like an hourly so you can see it. Like you'll see what I'm talking about. Now you have the huge drop because that's when Tom Lee was going to reinvent crypto. And then what you'll start seeing is like from these levels, and people will say, well, that's not that huge of a move from August or mid-August when it troughed or not. And so if you measure that move, it's 42%. So, all right. So then say, well, you're not going to do that. All right. So then let's just say you did it. I don't know. We want to take October 1st. As you took it October 1st and you did this on the month, you're up 8%. So you're not up 8% in Bitcoin, right? You're not up 8% in BMNR. So the trade's there. What you're doing is you're just expecting BMNR to trade under book value, which it will. They all do. Yours is not special, guy. Whoever's going to just tell me that I don't understand, save yourself the breath. Same people that told me that this one was, I didn't get this one either. The only thing I got was making money by shorting them. So I do think that that's there. I'm actually short the MSTX right now, and that makes a lot of sense to me. But I think you have to be super careful with it. But if I had to look at crypto, I think that's how you have to understand it. Supply and demand, and the demand went away. There was a great money grab. I mean, I don't blame those guys for doing what they did. I just thought it was hysterical that people were actually buying the shares instead of buying the crypto. Like, it made, from a trader standpoint, I get it. Like I did really well with BMNR on the long side and on the short side. But the idea that you want to own this versus this has no utility, versus something like a Bitcoin. So I don't really understand why people don't get that, but whatever. So I don't know that it's year to date as much as it's how much demand do you have now for that product. I'm not sure you have a lot. I'm not sure you have a lot. What's running for me? Oh, all those Argentinian names. All right, cool. No time change in Arizona. I got an extra hour of sleep. Yeah, IREN I own. I did add to it today. I 100% agree with this, and I'm actually surprised it's not up more. This deal gets them pretty much double their revenues. Like, literally doubles their revenues, Troy. So I don't really understand why it's not up way more than this. And then you have earnings. So it's very, very clear that they're in the driver's seat today. And that's really how I see it. So I don't really see the sense in doing a lot here. But I did add to it today, and I do want to buy more. I'm hoping my position gets destroyed at some point. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I find the GSAT fascinating that it didn't drop today. Yeah, PLTR, I mean, fan favorite. People love that. They're all about that PLTR life. My personal sense of that is that my personal sense of it is, I guess the easiest way for me to think about it is this. I don't get the valuation at all, but I don't trade stuff on valuation. I do and I don't. I know it sounds confusing, but if I look at that, do I really want to play that into earnings? Man, you better have the mother of earnings tonight. It better be the best earnings of all the earnings of all time. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand that for the life of me. So that's really how I see that. I don't know if you have a short squeeze, D-Dog. I know a lot of people are looking at those names. I don't know. Do you have a short squeeze there? You're getting 3.5, right? You're getting 3.5 and 0.4. So I don't know that you're getting a short squeeze. It seems to me that you're getting a family bailing out another family, quite frankly. Because my God, KVUE. I mean, this thing was, when it went out, you were at $27. They're obviously scared about what's going on. I mean, they're at 52-week lows, and you have Kimberly Clark out there picking them off. I mean, would you want to, if you were a shareholder and things were good, would you sell your company there? It's like when you look at mRNA, same thing. That's when they did that merger deal, the first thing I did was look into their liabilities or say, we're for sale. I looked into their liabilities. There's multi-billion-dollar lawsuits that are coming down the pike on that thing. So I don't know. Is this a good deal for Kimberly Clark? Did they just buy, an issue, I don't know, man. You know, I don't think Tylenol is going away, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it even from a trading standpoint. I don't know that I'm going to like. I tend to lock in gains in markets like this, especially when the breadth is this bad. And I tend to have like core positions and trading positions. I find that works optimal. And I look for catalysts. If I don't have a catalyst in a market like this, it's very rare for me to hold something, like, because you're going to be all over the place. You know, like, just to be clear, like, everyone's like, oh, I'll just hold this. No one's really able, like, if you're a day trader or a swing trader, no one's really able to hold from 193 to 160 without, in size, what they would constitute in size, and then go, oh, I'm up to 205 and say, I'm just going to hold it. Like, you know, those people only exist in Twitter. So they're not easy names to like hold. So I think that you find yourself doing more short-term trading, right? So like, you know, SanDisk or even Seagate the other day, what do we have? Like a 50-point swing. So, you know, Seagate's 281, right, at the beginning of the day. And someone's just going to say, I know I'm down, you know, I know I'm down 40,000 for every 1,000 shares I own, but I'm just going to hold it. Like, that person doesn't really exist and live to fight another day. So these things are becoming short-term trading vehicles. I think that what's going to happen is that people are going to rotate into things that have more stability. I think that's why GGAL and BMA, Argentina, is going to be so attractive. Like this IREN, even though they have this huge deal, this thing could drop $12 today just because somebody sneezes. So 100% this thing could fall apart. Like, I think the call wall is at 70, right? So you could just see all those people that had those options for the week going into the earnings call, like they just made a boon. So they're probably all going to puke it at some point, right? And kick it out. But I'm trading more the storied names right now, John, like, just to be blunt about it, because I'm too apprehensive about what I see going on out there. You know, I guess I won't say it's troubling, but I just look at it and I have real issue with what I'm seeing out there, to say the least. So it's definitely a concern of mine, you know, and I'm climbing this freaking wall of worry, man. And I'm watching it because, like, S5, FI, and I have to follow. I got to go with the girl that got me there, right? So, I mean, you got to go with the horse. I don't know, girls don't wear. I don't know. I'll just stop with the analogies now before I get in trouble. But like, this isn't good, John. Like, I don't know how to say it. I've seen good before. It doesn't look like that. So I'm very apprehensive about what I see out there, buddy. Like, I really am. You know, I really am. I'm very apprehensive. And so what I've been doing is just day trading more than anything. Oh, there goes BMNA. So you got to look at these names, guys. You got to understand the fundamental story here. I need more caffeine, guys. I'll stay for a couple more minutes, but you got to look at these names. You got to look at these fundamental stories. So you got to really start studying this stuff and why Argentina is going to move the way it is, because I think that's going to be the biggest trade into the year. I really do. The more I think about it, I don't see how that's going to stop at all. Let me just see one thing here. See if I can pull that off. So weird. It won't let me do that. there you go. So when I look at something like that, yeah, I think you can go, I think these names can go a lot higher. And that's really where my head would be with all of that stuff. I think some of the tech names can move, but I don't know, man. Like, I have a hard time holding this stuff when you're having like those kinds of swings because I know how it ends. And I don't think you're near the end of it, but you're definitely getting winners and losers. Like Meta's got a lot of problems here, like a lot. That's year to date, VWAP. And you broke it. So everyone's underwater now. I mean, the thing with Dell is you got great news. I don't know what your divergence looks like right now. You'd have to go and take a look at it after it opens. Like if I was to study this now and look at that, I don't think that there's, let's go get rid of the pre and the post. I don't know. I don't know that you have enough there. I think you did here. I think you had enough there to make a decision like, I don't want to own it up here now. Do I think you have enough here yet? Not really. You know, you're completely, utterly washed out down here. And now you're breaking that. So I don't think that you have enough to determine that, you know, on an RSI side. Who knows, dude? Like, who knows, Julian? Like, I don't have a freaking clue. I know you're getting ADP data. ADP data. I know we're getting that, brother. Hold on 1 second. Let's just double check that when that's coming. But I know we're getting that trading. Trading economics has been really good, and they're free. I tell everyone that I use that one now. I try to use the most free stuff I can. You're going to get some other economic data today, but let me just go through this. Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday, right? Jolts. You should get jolts on Tuesday too. But the ADP will be the cat's pajamas, 8:15. Yeah, you're going to get that in ISM data. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think dailies are the best. Yep, Jane. I think you're going to see some of that. I do. I think you're going to see some of that, but I don't know how much. I don't know you want to short, but I don't know that you want to go long either. The problem is that their growth is going to slow, I think. So, see, OpenAI kind of screwed up here, it looks like, from what I'm reading. Like, oh no, they're just going to start spending and try to outspend everybody. And like, they don't have any money. So like, all their money is kind of come from ties. And then the people that they're tying with, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. So, I don't know. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. Let's just hit a vol scan. So let's see if we can find out why. Amazon inks $38 billion deal with OpenAI to supply NVIDIA chips. Oh, so they're going to act as a data center for them. Oh, that makes sense, actually. Because they have the chips. It's not really a big deal for NVIDIA because Amazon already has the chips. It's actually a bigger deal for NBIS and IREN because none of these guys have access. That's what it's coming down to. Might still go. Actually, that may still go. You might just pop right there. Yeah, I think there's a trade there. Let's see. One, two, three. See how this bar right here? Hold on. See how this bar, and that's 50%. And then that bar, you're above 50% there. It's a 3-bar pattern. So they're pretty vicious. They're usually the ones that push. So we tried it, and now we'll figure it out if it's going to go or not. Yep. So you should push here. Yep. Bum, 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 bum. Come on. Come on, little guy. No, I think you're going to go. We'll see. Might take a little more. Might take some time. But I think it's going to go. Maybe 260, they're going to try and stop it. Let's go take a look at the book and see if they have options there. No, you should really go here. Let's see what you do. I don't think it's going to stop there. Find out, but I really don't think you're going to stop there. Might come back down and reload, but I don't think it does. I don't think you stop. Let's keep going. I got to keep going here. I think BWXT could be huge. Good morning from Portugal. Good morning from Miami. I thought so too, but you kind of held last night, guys. So I would watch that very, very closely. You held, so I would watch that really closely. The hem should be fascinating. You have a huge wall there at 40, like an enormous wall there at 40, like it's huge. So that really should hold. I'm just going to go through this super quick. Music, turn the music off. For God's sake, turn it off. Turn the music off. Off Daddy, stop the music. What's up, Lynn? I'm dragging. The things throw me off. They always throw me off, those things. The time changes do. CIFR. Yeah, this kind of stuff probably pushes on the IREN. I think a lot of people are looking at the revenues and don't understand that the revenues aren't going to go up. Only the earnings are really going to go up based upon how these deals are done. I would watch this morning because this type of thing could be a monster. See, when people start actually realizing why this stuff's moving, they'll get it. But that could go. That could keep pushing. GSIT, I don't own that one. I wouldn't touch that with 10-foot pole. I own GSAT. I actually think it gets bought, but we'll see. I think the drone names are fine. I think they got ahead of themselves. PayPal, I wouldn't touch. I don't know why they hate PayPal, but they sure do. Netflix can care less about its stock split. What name? NUVB chart. I don't think there's really much to explain. I mean, it's a biotech. It's either going to work or it's not. I don't know the story, so it's really hard for me to talk about it. Yeah, I think the BWXT earnings are going to be really interesting. I think that's the sleeper tonight. CIFR for sure. That's definitely going to be one too. And I think people are going to lean into some of those other names. So we'll see how that goes. But I do think they lean into this. What time's this conference call? Let's see if we can pull that up real quick. Because that might be, the thing there. That could definitely be it. I'm going to find that out. Yeah, what time? It looks like did it already take place? Yeah, there it goes. I don't think you're going to stop there, man. ADM, they already had it. I don't think that's going to stop there. All right, I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today.